On a quiet farm in America's heartland, shrouded in the early morning fog, something stirred. A shadow, impossibly large, moved behind the old barn. News headlines flickered with unease. Strange creatures spotted. No one knew where she came from. But everyone was afraid. In the midst of this growing fear lived an 11-year-old boy, adrift in his own world of grief. The loss of his mother had left him quiet and isolated, a small figure against the vast, empty fields. His days were spent in solitude, the silence of the farm echoing the silence in his heart. He felt like a ghost in his own home, unseen and unheard. One morning, drawn by a strange, soft light from the barn, he pushed open the heavy wooden doors. There, in the dusty sunbeams, stood a creature of impossible scale, a 15-foot tall golden hen. Her feathers shimmered with an inner glow, and her eyes, huge and amber, were not filled with menace, but with fear. She was as scared of this small world as it was of her. Hesitantly, the boy reached out a hand. The magnificent hen didn't attack. Instead, she lowered her massive head, a gesture of trust, allowing his small fingers to brush against her warm, soft feathers. In that single, gentle touch, a connection was forged, a silent promise between two lonely souls. Thus began their secret friendship. He would sneak out to the barn, his pockets filled with corn, and they would share quiet moments together. He'd tell her his secrets, his sadness, and she would listen, her big, kind eyes full of an understanding that transcended words. One afternoon, when a group of older boys tried to bully him by the creek, she appeared, a silent, towering protector, her presence enough to send them running without a single aggressive move. They spent evenings watching the sun dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, a giant hen and a small boy sharing the beauty of a world that didn't understand them. He was no longer just a lonely boy, and she was no longer just a monster in the shadows. They were friends. But secrets this big have a way of getting out. A neighbor, checking his fence line, caught a glimpse of gold through the trees. Soon, the whispers started. The whispers turned into frightened phone calls, then into panicked posts on social media. "It's a monster," one post read. "What if it attacks our kids?" screamed another. A fear, like a virus, spread through the small town. The fear reached a fever pitch at a tense town meeting. Voices were raised, fingers were pointed, and demands were made. "We have to do something before it's too late," shouted the mayor. Before long, the quiet country road leading to the farm was choked with news vans, their satellite dishes pointed at the sky like accusing fingers. Government vehicles followed, marked with the sterile logo of animal control. The farm was no longer a sanctuary. It was a circus, a siege. The boy watched from his window, his heart pounding with a dread that was colder than any grief he'd ever known. They were coming for his friend. As the tension on the ground reached its peak, a different kind of storm was gathering in the sky. The clouds turned a bruised, angry purple. The wind began to howl, ripping at the trees and rattling the windows of the old farmhouse. It wasn't just a storm. It was a monster of a different kind, a furious tornado tearing across the plains, heading straight for them. Panic erupted as the news crews scrambled for cover. The officials barked orders into their radios. The boy and his family were trapped, the farmhouse groaning under the assault of the wind and hail. The roof began to tear away, debris flying through the air like deadly projectiles. Just when it seemed the house would be ripped from its foundation, a massive golden form appeared through the swirling chaos. The hen, his friend, placed herself between the storm and the house. She spread her colossal wings, not to fly away, but to shield them. The full fury of the tornado crashed against her. Wind and debris battered her body, tearing at her beautiful feathers. She held her ground, a living wall against nature's rage, absorbing the punishment meant for the family huddled inside. The townspeople, the news crews, the officials, they all watched, stunned into silence. They saw her not as a monster, but as a guardian. They witnessed her sacrifice. When the storm finally passed, leaving a trail of destruction, the hen collapsed. She was battered and bleeding, her golden feathers stained and torn. The boy ran to her, his face streaked with tears, and threw his arms around her neck. He didn't see a creature, he saw his hero. The crowd looked on, their fear replaced by awe and a profound sense of shame. They had been so wrong. As the sun began to rise on the battered landscape, a new day dawning, the hen stirred. With a final, gentle look at the boy, she laid a single, giant egg at his feet. It shone with the same inner light as her feathers, a perfect, golden orb humming with warmth and promise. Then, with a weary strength, she rose. She turned and began to walk away, limping toward the sunrise. Her massive form grew smaller and smaller until she simply faded into the morning light and disappeared. The boy stood there, clutching the miraculous gift she had left behind. The town was safe, his family was safe, and he had learned a powerful lesson. Sometimes, what we fear the most is what we need the most. We are left not with an ending, but with a new beginning, filled with hope and wonder.